Hey everyone, Arsenal Fan Circle here. This is Thursday night forum, and
Foreham.
Forham, Norwich, first Norwich, and now Forham. What's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? But I suppose if I went to Gary and Tony, they would tell me all the things that are wrong with me. So go ahead, Gary. What's wrong with me?
Like you said, everything. I don't really have time for that list. Sorry.
Can be a little bit. This is where I was affording you an opportunity to be specific about what's wrong with Ray, the pilot.
I'm going to say you were on time, but you weren't. So, there's one. Throughout the show, I'll bring up little ones, and then everybody will find out by the end of the show most of them. But there's still more to go. So you got the first.
All right. I feel like I'm going to regret doing this, Gary, but I'm going to give Tony a moment to say what's wrong with Ray.
Ray's too fucking optimistic. Ray wants to blame the weather, blame other stuff when he doesn't think we're going to win. He doesn't pick Arsenal in the upset challenge, even though that would have gave him 4 points. No, Ray wants to go under the window, sneak in. I told you we were only going to get a point. Ray's never on time.
That's one thing. You can set your clocks by me. I was like 5 minutes late, but that's okay. If you're
always
like
5 minutes, 5 to 8 minutes late on time.
Oh crap!
You know what I'd like to say? Hello to everybody in the chat. I see Steve Denham. I see Stefan. We haven't seen in a while. Glad to have you back. Who else? I see BX Gunner. Good to see you.
BX Gunner, good to see you again in here. BX Gunner 81.
Tony Turner. I thought I blocked him. He's still in here.
He's persistent.
Can't get rid of that fucker.
We'll be opening up the gate soon. Proceed to gate 8 because we're going to have our 8th Premier League game on Monday now. We got to wait a little bit longer. So, Gary, I titled this podcast Press Play. You take the pause off the international break and let's go.
Yeah, and when we press play, as Arsenal always does, we're a little slow, so we don't even get to go until Monday. So, thank you. No, maybe that gives us an extra day or two to recover, right? So, we'll see if that matters or not.
Yeah,
I don't think Saka didn't play last, right? So he should be rested. I didn't hear much from Tierney. Yeah.
Yeah, if we're going to be rested on a Saturday. If we're going to be rested on a Sunday, then we definitely should be rested by the time Monday comes around.
Yeah, I expect to see everybody, all our starters. We'll worry about Friday. We'll worry about Friday on Thursday night.
As Steven said here, make sure Gary doesn't try to open the windows after takeoff this time.
This time? What does that mean? What?
Tony, I think that was when he was late to one of the podcasts. He was handling the luggage.
That's when he was in the landing gear, crawled up into the luggage bay, finally made his way into the plane somehow. Still not quite how he did it.
We want to welcome everyone who's watching, but especially Stefan who's coming back. We haven't seen him in a while. He said, great to be back after a difficult summer. And, he has lost 4 friends and a cat as well. So, and a cat can be a great friend to you as well. It's been difficult to say the least, but I got to move on now. Yeah, definitely onwards and upwards. But it's great seeing friendly faces on YouTube. It means a lot. And Tony, that's sometimes we don't think about that enough. We're all going through things. We all have our life as well happening outside of Arsenal, outside of podcasts. I always say family's number one, Tony.
Yep, family is definitely number one. Found that out more than I already knew that this year. And just like I said, don't waste your time, kind of like Gary says, don't waste the trip. To me, just always make time for your loved ones. You never know what's going to happen. Don't put off, hey, I have to wake up at 7:30 in the morning and it's 10 at night. I'll put the call off until tomorrow. No, do it today. Do what you can.
Yeah, definitely. Gary, you want to add on to that or we move on?
No, definitely. Life is short and it goes really fast. So and try to enjoy every day. That's all. Yeah, yeah. As I always say, you know, life is a journey. Don't waste a trip. Enjoy the ride. Yeah, because you never know.
Yeah, Stefan saying, hope everyone had a good summer. Not looking forward to the impending winter, and that is just Arsenal. We hope it's not a similar winter to last year's winter, Gary.
Okay, I was gonna say I think we had a really bad fall. At least that's what we call it over here on this
Mm,
side of the pond. And
yeah,
winter was actually pretty good. Right, Boxing Day basically was really nice. Right, everything from Boxing Day onward basically was good. We had some hiccups, but in general, we looked really good. So if we can fix the first part of the season, which we didn't, but if we can fix maybe the the second third of the season, and then continue that through Boxing Day, we'll take that, won't we?
yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. BX Gunner 81 said, just realized we play on Monday. It is what, 4 days away? So, yeah, it is next week technically. And it's Mike Dean, Gary. It's going to
No,
be
no,
Mike Dean Monday
yeah.
with a legend coming back in Patrick Vieira.
Not only is it Monday, but we play on Friday too. So
Yeah,
we don't have much time to rest. So hopefully it's a fast and good week, or a good and fast week, or a
yeah.
good and good week.
And I support the Philadelphia Eagles as well. Watching them now, 7-7 right now. We want only. I only want one Eagles win, not another Eagles win on Monday, Tony.
Yeah, I think you'll be rooting for Jalen Hurts today. You won't be rooting for Vieira and Edward on Monday.
Yeah, exactly. Looking forward to the club return of club football. Not a big fan of internationals. Gary, I suppose leading into the internationals here, and our flight has been delayed due to the interlull, and now we're up and away. Um, but it's also like, have you ever listened to a podcast, Gary, and then have to stop and go to work and work 10 hours and then come back in your car and start your podcast up again? It's a little bit like that. That's what the pause has been for me. That's my analogy.
I don't know what you're talking about, because I'm usually not that far away from my computer when I'm working because I'm on it, and I got two screens, so I can work and
Definitely
play if I
jealous.
guess if I needed to.
Yeah, definitely jealous of that. But yeah, we're back. So let's press play here. Lead into the internationals, Gary, and some of our players actually scored goals while away on international duty.
Yeah, I saw there was a list. So basically, let's see here. Saka got a goal.
Yep.
Smith Rowe got a really really nice goal. Partey scored twice. What? Twice?
Well,
He's in
well,
2 games. He scored.
allegedly twice, because
He
one
scored.
the video was scrubbed on one of them. I couldn't see.
One
I
was a
saw the
one was a
second
penalty
goal.
kick, I believe, or one was a free kick. And
Roof of the net was
the
100
other one
foot
I
tall,
saw, it was
Gary.
a really nice shot into the near corner, and it's like he kept it on the ground low, and it right hit the corner. Nice. Pepe scored. Aubameyang scored and assisted. Tavage, he had a goal and a couple assists.
Yeah.
Saliba was on had played 2 games, 2 clean sheets. I mean, Tierney clean sheet. Hey, even Kolasinac was on a team that had a clean sheet. I mean, just think. I mean, think that's how deep this goes. It's not even just these players that are here; it's the players that are there and gone, all having a
This is
good international break.
is this the Arteta effect, Gary, taking shape?
If it is, that means that they're playing much better when they're away, which I don't think is a good Arteta effect.
Right. Right.
Here's the problem with this. They did all of this stuff right when they were away. So what happens when they come back and we don't see the same
The
thing?
handbrake goes back on. I actually have a theory, Gary. Thomas Partey, I heard somewhere he's only had something like 30 something internationals with Ghana, but he scored 11 goals whilst on international duty. And I know some of the teams may be in the lower echelons of world football, but that's still a really, really good return. And he may have played only 20 games for Arsenal, has yet to score a goal.
Yeah. So and it doesn't really for me matter about the quality. He's played against tough teams before and scored when he was playing where in Italy, right? Right. So and there's lots of YouTube videos of him scoring out there, and I don't think it wasn't against like the worst teams in the leagues that he was playing. So
Correct.
nah. So no, that's no excuse. So so either like you said, the handbrake's on, or that was all fake. That's one of the two. He didn't either. He's been held back by Arsenal, Arteta, the system, whatever you want to call it, or that was all fake. That what we saw in those videos, which I doubt. So, yeah, we need to carry on. And this is the whole thing that I always ask for. Can we take what we did in the previous game and build on it? Right?
Yeah.
Give me a little bit more than you did the last outing. So, last outing was Brighton. If you want to count the Premier League, we do a little bit better. I think we're not playing a better team than Brighton as far as the players and the structure that they have in place, but we are playing a team that probably has a structure and a plan. So that's the scary part.
Yeah, they will be similarly coached as a Brighton team, Tony. But Brighton may well be a top half team in terms of how they're being coached and how they're being implemented on the field. Patrick Vieira, his mandate's going to be a little bit different with that job. It's sort of basically keep Crystal Palace somewhere between mid-table and away from relegation.
Yeah, the bar's set a little bit lower for him. I still think he'll finish closer to the middle of the table than people think. I don't think he'll finish 15th, 16th, around there. I think he'll be 11th, 12th, maybe even 10th.
Wow. Burnley till I dies here. Mike Dean is a feckin' clown. Can't argue with that at all. Him and Kevin Friend are a pair of Muppets.
You know, there will be a day when we don't even care about the official.
Yeah,
I'm hoping that comes really, really soon, but I don't think so. So we're just going to have to overcome not only the 11 players on the other side, but the three officials, or 4 officials, really, or 5 officials, right? It's 5 officials we have to deal with. You have 2 in the field and 1 right off
I'm in the booth,
and then 1 up in the booth, right? So
yeah,
it's like 16 against 11.
Yeah. BX Gunner 81. I'd take a striker showdown with an Oba hat trick and a win. Tony had 3 international breaks for the holiday fixtures. Yeah.
Hate is what I meant to say. I killed Gary.
And we're supposed to take him serious when we're going to talk about the amount of VAR points that Arsenal may have dropped.
You know, if he wants to talk about it, let him go. He's going to go for a little while, tell us about it, and then we'll, move on. Talk
when
about
8,
it.
When 8 is really 3.
8. No, did he say 8 or did he say hate?
I meant to say hate.
Oh, he hates. Okay. That's what it is. I had 3 international breaks.
I didn't know where he was going with that, but I really usually don't know where Tony's going with the stuff he says.
That's why I moved swiftly on.
Without VAR, we'd be 13th in the table, right?
So we're actually doing really good then, right? Because we are not 13th right now.
Yeah, we're 11th. We're 11th right now. The bar was 100 foot tall, so it was a goal and not a ball kicked to Rosie.
Rosed.
Rosed. See, Zed. Is there a good Arteta effect? And Jeff Sue's here again. We still can't score goals consistently. That is, I was ridiculed last week when I echoed what Arteta said. It's going to be a roller coaster.
It ain't gonna be a fucking roller coaster. It shouldn't be a roller coaster. Consistency.
It's going to be a roller coaster because we can't score goals consistently.
Guess whose roller coaster it is?
9, I guess, huh?
No. Whose roller coaster is it?
Arteta's.
Uncle Artie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's based on we didn't go out and get a striker. We didn't freshen.
That's
things
on
up
him. He
going
said
forward.
he said if he talked to someone, they're gonna come. That's what he told us. Right? He told us if he puts Arsenal in front of people, they will come.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he told us.
Maybe priorities were in other areas, Gary.
Yeah, the defense that was already good.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You-
We usually
defense
disagree
this
on
year.
things. We're not going to disagree on that one. BX Gunner, how can
9
any
goals in
city-
3 games, and we spent all our money on defense. Yay!
Yeah, I know. So I think it's going to be tight margins, Jeff Sue. It is going to be tight margins this season. We're going to have 2-1s, 1-0s, 1-1s. How can any City fan have anything but joy for that team and manager? Ungrateful bunch, considering they were non-existent 12 years ago. City fans are whacked. City fans are all tourists. Um, However, it was great seeing Arsenal beat the other lot from North London the other week. So that's Tony. That's the highs, right? Talking about roller coaster again. The highs and the lows. That is a high, right?
Yeah, we beat a shit Spurs team. They're struggling.
Playing
Started
good
off
football.
great against City, and don't know what happened to them after that. They're like, "Fuck you, we're not gonna play for you."
BX Gunner Zaha is always a threat. Now he has support. They'll click soon. Hopefully not against us. Yeah, and they've shown Gary. I think it was the last game. It was a 2-2 draw. They were 2-0 down against Leicester City, albeit at home, and they did need to get the next goal. I would think that Vieira was happy with the amount of heart and desire that the team had to come back from a 2-goal deficit.
Yeah, I mean, Arteta hasn't done that 16 times. He's had 16 opportunities to come back at halftime being down, and he's 0 for 16. He hasn't done it yet. So, yeah. And you know what? That's probably the difference between Vieira and Arteta. Vieira actually has managed before all around the world, right?
Yeah.
And so he has a bit of experience, and Graham Potter had experience too, and he was missing 5 to 6 players. Didn't really matter. So, yeah, this is where we are right now. We have to hope that he's learned from the last time, but I don't think it's not happening fast enough for me. And we'll see. Of the 3 wins, I don't even 45 minutes if it was good, and that was the first half of North London Derby. Otherwise,
Well, it was really good. That's as good as it gets, Gary.
that was the best we've seen all season. But I believe we're playing teams that aren't at that level, that are a little bit lower than that level.
Yeah.
So I'd expect us to have a better 90 minutes, much less 45 minutes against those teams. So yeah, we've got 4 games to show it, I think. Right?
Yeah, 4 games. We're going to touch on the next block of games. It's 4 league games and 1 cup game coming up, and then we have another dreaded international break in November. Stefan, Tony,
The fucking third one before the holidays.
What is he?
I was just going to say, Tony makes us laugh as well, Stefan.
What is he talking about?
Another
3 international breaks before the holidays. It's ridiculous.
You should never referee Liverpool or Everton games with him living on Merseyside. I think that's Mike Dean.
Yeah, you know what? I remember I was listening to a show. I was on a show, and they were talking about that. And at some point, it doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter. Sorry, I should say that. It shouldn't matter. But the reason why it does is because they're poor, and they don't, and they don't have. They're not consistent, right? I mean, if they were consistently bad or consistently good, you would be okay. But then you see the same officials work in international matches, and you're like, so it's not that you're poor, it's that you just don't have the same responsibilities when you play an international game than you do in the Premier League. Why is that? The Premier League is the best league in the world, supposedly, right?
Best product.
But
Yeah.
it doesn't have the best it doesn't have the best officials.
No,
Why?
it doesn't have the
How
officials.
is that? How? You get the best athletes and you set them up with the worst officials. That doesn't make any sense. Or I shouldn't say the worst, but poor comparatively to the league. All right.
Mm-hmm. And you do wonder how well that these referees are paid as well. I don't know if there's a way to check into that, but we're paying the best talent to come to the Premier League, but we don't already have the best officials, as you say. Arteta just had his best 2 weeks, so how long before he has his worst 2 weeks?
What would you call the first 2 weeks of the
This is what
season?
Arteta had said. He had his best 10 days to 2 weeks leading up to the Norwich game.
And
And,
what about the Brentford City
well,
Chelsea
that was probably
games?
a bad 2 weeks, wouldn't you think?
That would be the worst so far, right? This
Yes.
season, because
That was the flat part
last
of the
season he
roller
had a couple
coaster.
of really bad months back to back.
Yep. Let's hope we have like 8 out of 10s from here on in. We don't have to have great weeks or bad 10 days, but let's have a level of consistency that would merit
That
us.
ain't a fucking roller coaster.
No,
Arteta
I'm
said
not
we're
going
getting a
there.
roller
I'm not
coaster.
going there. I'm not going there. Hello, Stephen, mate. Funny enough, I sing "It's All About Mike Dean" when he's on. If he could, he would eat himself. Yeah, Mike Dean, and he didn't affect us
Really-
last time. He
I
didn't
really
affect
don't
us.
want to. I really don't want to know their officials.
Exactly. And sometimes you have to look to see what kind of damage they could potentially do to you as a fan. You know. Um, Stefan said, "I need comedic relief, so thank you. May you always make me smile." Tony's doing the majority of that tonight, I think.
I always do that. Part of my
Uh,
job.
is anyone worried that the win against Spurs is like the 3-1 win against Chelsea last season? I'm not worried. If that's the case, that would spark a really, really good run of form, right? It's like we're delaying the inevitable.
The 3-1 win versus Chelsea
At
turned in
boxing, yeah, on the
turned
26th.
into we continued to win after that, and
Yeah.
we won.
Wow, me and Gary agree on something.
I'm
It's
not sure where you
amazing.
were going with that. You're saying, is it the same? And I'm like, no.
Yeah, that 3-1 win brought us into a
You
decent
two
run of
can't
form.
fucking agree. Move on.
We did. We agreed.
Move to a different topic.
Think about it. We'll find out whether it's a trend or not, because we beat Chelsea and then we turned up and we beat them again, right? So that season, right?
hmm
I would expect us to play much better against Spurs the second time around. Oh, you don't. Mm.
Away from home, play better than we did at the Emirates, beating Spurs 3-1. Do you think we're going to play as well at White Hart Lane and win 3-1 in the return fixture?
How often do you guys keep talking about we won the league there a couple times, and now all of a sudden we can't win there?
71 and 2002, I believe it was. 2004.
But now all of a sudden it's we can't win there.
We can win there, but we can't. We may not be able to win as well as we won at the Emirates, 3-1. Do you think we're going to torch them in 30 minutes with 3 goals, Gary?
No, we can do that in 90. We would
Yeah.
double the time it takes to get the 3 goals. Okay.
Okay.
I'm giving you double the time. You're saying you can't simulate what you did in 45
All
minutes.
things are possible.
And you even said 30 minutes. So I'm giving you 3 times as much. You 90 minutes to do the same thing you did in 30.
All right. We're going to preview that as we do preview every game in the week, every weekend. When we get into March, April, May, whenever we're playing Spurs in the current fixture, I think it's January. I want to see Gary predict a 3-1 win. Mark that down, Tony.
You might as well just write down. Where's your notebook? Where's your notebook?
Let's hear.
Where's
Go ahead,
Menudo?
write it down.
Show it.
No, he doesn't have to show it, but write it down so that we don't forget.
Gary said,
you're probably gonna take the recording anyways. You know what the time is, right? So
if
25
we,
minutes, right?
all right.
Timestamp it, Ray.
BX Gutter said, if we can't score goals, we go nowhere but down the table. Oba used to save our blushes. Now he's missing in action, and we can't score to save our asses. Yep. It's going to be, we just have to accept it's going to be one of those seasons. Zaha versus Tomiyasu, must watch TV. Yes, I'll take that, Bargaf.
Well, you know, he showed up the last time he had
Son.
an attacking player to deal with, right? I
Son.
think, yeah, yeah. And where did you guys see Son in that match?
No, he did pop up, but it wasn't Tomiyasu's fault.
No, he popped up one time, but like you said, it had nothing to do with him. But
Mhm.
yeah, I think he got, like you said, I think he got punched in the mouth versus Brighton. But you know, if he
Most
got,
of our team did.
if he was surprised, then that was on the coaching, right? But if he just had a bad day like everybody else did in the match, then it's
So,
something we can deal with.
so here's Burnley till I die. Honest fellas, watched you beat us, and it's definitely the worst Arsenal side I've seen for ages. I thought we had chances, though. If you're being honest, I thought we had chances. We just didn't connect the dots on breakaways at least twice in that Burnley game. So we were probably good for a 2-goal win at least. But it didn't happen, Gary, right? All right,
It
guys,
didn't happen. Yeah.
what's cooking? No Whaler Lane, no, it's Shidehart Lane. Don't forget, Palace usually plays well until they are secure, which is March. Afterwards, they're trash and coast. And in January last year, when we did revive, we had a 0-0 draw with Crystal Palace last season as well. Jeff said, my point is we go on a good run of results and then a run of terrible results. It's a vicious cycle. In the end, we finished mid-table. And we'll be touching on that a little bit. I think we have to maybe look and take stock at the Premier League.
Can we hope that the last 3 games were the lucky part of the season, and now we have the good part?
Yeah.
Because I think we got lucky to get 3 wins in a row, and now we need to actually go out there and actually take the 3 wins.
Yeah.
Or 4 wins in this case.
And the Norwich game was excruciatingly frustrating. We scraped by in that game. As Tony will tell you, a piece of individual brilliance from Erdegaard. Got us 3 points against Burnley, and then obviously a murdered win against Tottenham, 3-1. So yeah, we rode our luck in 2 of those 3 games.
Yep.
And the gifts that VAR gave us.
Tony, BX Gunner, why are we in this situation again with our highest paid player not performing? It's some real stuff to ponder. How can we keep making so many player decisions wrong? And you're on record as never
stubborn. He sees what works. He won't stick with it. Lacazette's been scoring in the closed door games and the preseason games, but he just sits there and sticks with Aubameyang no matter what. He sits there and he benches Pepe. So we're not to have as many scorers out there. It's all on Arteta. Should be able to see that Aubameyang isn't at his top anymore. He's declining. We should have never paid him $300,000 a week.
Yeah.
We should have got 2 strikers, 1 young one, 1 world class. We did neither. We could have had Edouard for $14 million. Instead, we can't get rid of Eddie and Kedia because he's on $70,000 a week for whatever fucking reason that is.
I mean, to me, it would be cheaper to pay half of Eddie's salary and get Edouard than it is to have him sitting on the bench doing nothing. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, he's I mean, they don't want to play him. And
he's just a warm body taking a place on the bench
what's I guess not good, and what's surprising is that doesn't really have as much trust in himself to go out there and do the job when somebody actually wants him to play. Right? A team actually wanted him to go there and play him because they thought they could get something out of him, and because the money wasn't right, he wanted to stay. And
Mhm.
that it wasn't going to be any
And
different than the season before.
we're still trying to sort out those kinks from those players who are being overpaid and living high on the hog from Arsenal. And we still have a few players. One of those that's not worth the money he's being paid probably is Eddie. You know what I mean? But Gary, as I said, we have three goal scorers from last season. Our three main goal scorers, only one of them can get into the side right now, as the team's been picked. It's Aubameyang, Lacazette, and Pepe have been sidelined, and you're putting goals on the bench.
Only Arsenal will take, like you said, three scorers that scored double figures last season and can't find a way to get them into the game with meaningful time where they can actually do something good with it. I mean, it makes you speechless. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here?
You're
people-
sacrificing goal threat for ball security. That's what he's doing.
Yeah, but you get more ball security with Lacazette.
what? Yeah. So ball security. Like, what do you mean? Like, how much possession did we have against Brighton?
Less than 50%.
Yeah,
And at one point, it was like 30%.
yeah.
Yep.
Probably in the second half when they were done trying to win the match, that they relinquished the possession. I mean, they should have been getting tired, which they did, but we didn't. We didn't put our subs in early enough.
Yep. Burnley, till I die, said Eddie's useless. My mate was always slagging him when he was on loan at Leeds. The only thing he's good at is getting on the end of things, and he's not able to do that too much at Arsenal. All of our players that were worth good money, Arteta has devalued them. They're not worth half. Look at Guendouzi. There were talks of him being 50 million youngster. Now we are going to get 8 to 9 million. And latest news is he maybe has not closed the door on Guendouzi as well. He may be an option to come back along with Saliba. Eddie shouldn't been stacking muscle this whole time. Is Martinelli, and Pepe need to score some goals. So yeah, international players on international duty. Gary, we had Saka, a great pass from Foden, a nice goal against Andorra. Partey, two goals. One was a free kick. One was a nice shot from long range. Emil Smith Rowe, Tony, afterburners. Did you see the speed he moved there? That's the kind of way Arsenal used to play in their heyday.
A little bit of Theo Walcott at his peak, or Bellerin at his peak with that speed just bursting down there. Be nice to see that during our games. I haven't seen it yet. Haven't really seen it for many of our players. It'd be nice to see us play with speed on the counter attack, since Arteta wants to play counter attacking football instead of possession based. Doesn't really make much sense to me, his plans, but he knows what he's doing apparently.
Tony, Aubameyang weighed in with Gabon, a goal and an assist as well.
Yay.
So hopefully that helps. It helps come Monday. Tavares, under 21s for Portugal, 1 goal, 2 assists, Gary. And that's a player to step forward. He's given everything that he can.
Yeah, when he comes on the pitch, he's ready to go. He just doesn't. I mean, he wasn't supposed to get much time anyways, right? So if Tierney is healthy for once in his Arsenal career, then Tavares was worth it, because that's what we need, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We need Tierney on the field. Tavares, his time will come, but we don't need him right now, but we do need him when his number's called. So that part is fine with me. I see some people who joined us. I see Stan is in there.
Stan the man is here.
Yeah. I was gonna say,
Well,
you could.
listen, we've missed those Stan hairpiece, the wig talk, right?
We have not. You know what? Whenever I even said, or did you say it? Like we
You
haven't
said it
been talking.
last week,
We haven't been talking about the stands here in a while. What's going on? And
Stefan.
yeah, Stefan, you're back, and Stan's wigs are back too.
Great to see. Great to see. Um, but yeah, what was I just gonna
No, no, I was
say?
just gonna say.
Tavares.
No, I was gonna say before that because you were talking about Emil Smith Rowe running straight down the middle like Martinelli.
Yeah.
Getting on the end of in this case, getting at the end of a pass and slotting it home against the goalkeeper 1-on-1. And when he's playing for Arsenal and he's been put in a similar situation, he don't take the shot. I mean, it's not as clear, it's not as clean, it's not as easy as that one, but he doesn't take the shot anyways. But he's shown that he can take a shot when a goalie is off his line, and he doesn't do it. He needs to do it. So hopefully, like you said, that wakes up some of these players that look, we need to score.
Yeah. Look at as you just mentioned with Tierney and Tavares, I think we're already seeing the good effect of having a Tavares on the bench. He's coming in. He's come in quite a few games now, and he's taken some minutes away from Kieran Tierney, and I think that's going to help Tierney to withstand the rigors of this season, whatever that may be. It's going to be less European games, but it's still a lot of games.
No, he definitely no. That was his job. Right, that was his responsibility is be available when Tierney's out. So I like what I see when he comes on. It's only going to get better, hopefully. But we'll go from there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Arsenal scored probably like what 8-9 goals, in a week.
In the break, yeah.
One person that didn't stand out because I didn't see a stat from him, and I even looked when they showed Haaland scoring. I don't know if Odegaard was he. How did he do? I didn't see or hear much about him during the break.
Yeah, he's the one player we haven't heard too much about.
And to think, it's not like he's not playing with one of the best strikers in the world in terms of young strikers who potentially has got greatness written all over him right now.
Mm-hmm.
So it should be easy, right? Because if he can't make it work with Haaland, how in the world is he going to make it work with Aubameyang?
Did you see that training ground routine with Haaland?
With the 3 balls, right?
And I think
I'm like, is that for real?
For us, he said it's true. This is real. It's not fake.
Because when you put when you try to put the second ball on top of the first one, I'm like, how does that stay and not move at all? I'm like, what is going on? Tony's got a party going on in his pocket.
Tony's pizza just got here.
I have it on Do Not Disturb, and it still fucking rings somehow.
You keep saying that every show. Maybe it's not on Do Not Disturb.
So Haaland is Norwegian. I think
I don't know what any of that stuff means. I don't have one of those, whatever that kind of phone is. Is that an iPhone thingy? No, I don't know what that's like. Lots of buttons.
Okay, Do Not Disturb. It's on.
Okay, we believe you. We believe you. Erdegaard
is Norwegian.
Martin, damn it!
I said his name right. Leave me alone.
Thanks for the language barrier help. Yeah, listen, Haaland and Erdegaard are teammates on the same team. Pepe also, Gary, stepping forward, getting the goal.
Yes, everybody's scoring. Look at it. Everybody's scoring.
We have a team full of players scoring on international duty.
Everybody's scoring. I mean, what did Martinelli? Was he injured? Is that why he didn't go away? Is that right?
Maybe.
He's the only one that
made the balls stick together. Maybe.
But you know what? They were still nice kicks. So
yeah.
if
and they all hit a target.
They all hit a target.
Upper left corner. So yeah, listen, that international duty. Let's hope we come back, and we're going to preview the Palace game in a little bit later as well, and we're ready to go against Palace with the handbrake off. Quick mention about Partey, as we mentioned already. Do you think Arteta asks him to do something else, Gary, than he does with the international side?
Well, for one, definitely, yeah. I mean, if you saw where he was when he took his shot in the first game that he scored, he was up in the final third, stealing the ball. I believe is how he actually got his foot got on the ball, intercepting the ball. I think up there in the final third, and
Mhm.
I don't feel like he's there enough. If that's where he thrives at, he wasn't there, or you know, it was it was good to see him do all of that. But I don't feel like he has that responsibility when he's playing for Arsenal, which makes you wonder, like. So it doesn't make you wonder. We already know that a lot of players are probably being asked to do things that aren't tapping into their skills
Yeah,
and getting the most out of it.
yeah,
Right?
exactly.
We know what
Tony,
Pepe is good at, and we don't see it.
Tony, do you think Partey will score at all this season?
Yeah, I think he will. He's been close on a couple of his shots. He looks like he has his shooting boots on more than he has before. I think he'll get at least two goals.
Tony, the ex-gunner says Kroenke and Arteta have the most comical hairstyles ever. Well, it's probably what they talk about when they get together. They don't talk about the game. I've missed
Kroenke's not. I don't think Kroenke's buying the same product as Arteta, or he's buying the anti-product of Arteta.
It's not as tightly weaved or as wiry, let's
Yeah.
say.
It's
Doesn't have
not
the same
Lego hair.
doesn't have the same holding power.
Yeah. Uh, okay, listen. I want to move on to the next topic, and then we're gonna do a couple of things here. I want to talk about Arsene Wenger's Invincible movie coming out. So, you want to do that one first, or talk about the football landscape, Gary?
I don't know much about the Invincible thing, so I
Let's
guess let's
do the
hold off on that.
football landscape first. Then we'll
Yeah.
do
Okay, football
Wenger.
landscape. Right. So, listen. This tags on to Newcastle, Gary, and the impending doom that Newcastle will bring to the rest of the Premier League. We're going to have another big boy in the Premier League, so it's obviously going to impact Arsenal. It's going to impact a lot of teams. Uh, I started looking at the league table, and the way Gary Tony has designated some teams as BDS. There's a couple of those big teams. You got Manchester City, you got Chelsea, Newcastle's going to be in that category. Everton are trying to be in that category, right? But then you've got the other teams that are well run. So the cash rich will be City, Chelsea, Newcastle, Everton, let's say. The well run teams, something like an Aston Villa.
You
Leicester.
forget Arsenal's fourth in the owner's net worth.
Yeah, but that's not as rich as some of these other teams here. Leicester City and Brentford. So,
If you
it
include
depends.
Mr. and Mrs. Kroenke, then you equal what City has. We're not far behind, Ray.
Mrs. Kroenke is not a legitimate. She's not part of that. The
Yeah.
funds. She might be there to loan a couple of bucks to her husband when he asks, but
He's not going cap in hand, please
yeah,
lend me
it's
5
not a
billion.
it's not a it's not one of those things where he opens up his bank account and he can see her account and he just can just transfer money over. I don't think that's how it works.
She owns her own sports team. I'm sure they share.
Stephen Denham says he's pleased Newcastle are being taken over. They've suffered for 14 years, I think now.
Not
Man
when they
United,
have 80% of the pie.
they're about to have a big slice of the pie. Man United and Arsenal are not up there anymore. Um, what what you have to have, Gary, or Tony, is a well-run operation now, well-run business to be able to compete against these cash rich teams. Stefan said, "Talk about the Newcastle shameful takeover." We touched on it a little bit on Sunday, but want to dive into that very slightly again, Gary?
If you want to, if
And
you want
Gary's
to,
have to put on the boxing gloves again.
no, no. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to say anything a little bit different than I said the last time. As much as there's a lot of people against it. They weren't against it a couple of ownership changes ago, right? That's why Newcastle's ownership isn't any different than some other teams, right? So other teams have the same kind of structure and they all that, as somebody said, the blood money. I guess that's we've seen stuff like that on other teams, right? So it's a how do you say it? It's it's a FA issue why this is happening, right?
Regulation, a
Football
regulatory
Association
issue.
is allowing these things to happen, and
Hmm.
they don't necessarily care about some of the history of the league that they are managing, right? Because we'll see what Yeah, so it's going to be. I think people deserve to be able to, new ownership is required for when teams are being let down by their ownership, right? We know that firsthand. Uh, but if they just, supposedly they're vetting these people, these owners that are coming in. I'm not sure if they're doing it really. They're vetting that,
Let's
they're getting into the nitty gritty and going into the details to find out, you know, what things they already know, right?
let's get into what Stefan said here, Tony. Just to mix it up a bit here. Whoever's got the most money wins. This is not sport, and does this hasten the need or the call for regulations, which will regulate the amount of expenditure that clubs can have in transfer business?
Like I said, they should copy the NBA model, go off the league wages. You have to spend a certain amount of money, and then you have a salary cap on top of that. But you have teams like PSG, the Red Bull teams, Manchester City, Chelsea, that were nothing teams 30 years ago. Now they're the biggest on the block, big dick swingers, as I like to say, because their owners have
BDS.
all the money in the world. It's just ridiculous amounts of money they have, especially Newcastle. Like I said, they have 80% of the pie in the league. That's just super unbalanced. You keep on to put City way up there high. They're only two places above us, right?
Yeah. Um, and Gary, uh, so this is not sport. What does this do for you personally as a supporter? And I know we've we've been suffering this through City, more so City than Chelsea. But in the last 20 years, we've seen these two players come onto the scene. Chelsea, cash rich, and Manchester City, even more cash rich. And the league has been dominated by these two teams. And now we've seen Champions League, Chelsea and City play each other, and so now it's staring us in the face. And Newcastle fans will be happy. Some of them will be happy that they've gotten rid of Mike Ashley. But is it tougher and tougher as a supporter to feel any love for the game?
Well, I think before all of this, before the Newcastle takeover happened, that was already dwindling down. A lot of people, I've seen it in many a chat and many a tweet, that it's not the same football anymore. They're falling out of love for the football that they remember. You
Hmm.
know, and it started with the influx of money going into these things and the power of the TV power that's going on, right? And this is just another one of those things, right? I mean, why are billionaires interested in a $3 and $4 billion product at the most, right? Because I suppose they can make a lot more money, right? It's not, you can't, you know, it's a there's not a big turnaround, but I guess they can see, like, the light at the end of the tunnel, and that's what stands so, right? So yeah, I it's disappointing, and it's happening to all the sports. And the sports, at least in the states, they have a little bit more control. All the money is it's pretty clear how much money the teams are getting, and that's how they figure out how much money they can spend. I think the issue is I can't see that working in UEFA. How do because you're talking about different countries, different currencies. If a country's going through a large financial, is financially strapped for it, because the economies are bad in that one company, then how in the world do they, they can't compete if everybody's supposed to be on the same monies, right? What are you guys talking about? What is Stan? What?
He was talking about pizza. I
No,
don't know.
he's not
No,
talking about
he's
pizza.
talking about
No.
the girls' sound was in the background. He said it was my strippers arriving.
What? You guys need to get your head out of the gutter. I don't think you can hear anybody because nobody's talking over here, so I don't know.
No,
You didn't hear it? You didn't hear it, Ray?
no, no.
Me and Stan just imagining shit, I guess.
I think so. You guys are you're all on that same hokey pokey, or they call it, or whatever. So.
Yeah, possibly he might be. Yeah, possibly.
I think Stan's got his glasses on. Yeah.
So Tony, our Arsenal fans, we seem to be further and further away from, success, real visceral success in winning trophies. The best we could probably hope for now in the coming years, maybe an FA Cup or a Carabao Cup. Certainly this season, that's got to be one of our targets. With no European football, it's just kind of soul destroying when you look at the landscape out there and you see City, Chelsea, Newcastle, Everton have now got a very good, and Rafa Benitez has got a good manager in there. They're going to be better. Aston Villa have spent 100 million, maybe properly, maybe not properly. Leicester City are a well-run club. They're struggling right now, and Brentford are a well-run club. So it is going to be a long road for us this season, I believe, and a tough one.
Last year our goal was fourth. This year I can't even come up with a goal of where we should be. No Champions League, no Europa League. Top four should be our priority. We've heard from our fans for a fucking decade that we could win the league if we were out of Europe. We can focus on one competition. Now 6 is the best we can finish with no European football. Makes no sense to me. Too low of expectations. Continues the shitty mentality of a team like Arteta saying the next 5 or 6 games are to be a roller coaster. No, you're at the helm. Everything should be nice and steady. Ship should be going on full speed ahead.
Well, I think you're misinterpreting what he said, though. When it comes, I know we've been joking around about the roller coaster, but
How the fuck can I misinterpret it when that's what he said?
That's you misinterpreted what he said.
He wasn't talking about the highs and lows of each game.
That's why there's a word called misinterpret. It means you misunderstood the intent.
I didn't misunderstand it. You're the one that likes to say this roller coaster tycoon talk with Mr. Lego Man.
He's just trying to tell you it's going to be a difficult season. You're not buying it.
Then just say it's going to be difficult. Don't say it's going to be a fucking roller coaster.
All right.
I was going to say, you guys were talking about, the teams with all the money going out there and winning, right? Because they can spend the most money. And 3 or 4 Champions Leagues ago, who was in it? Do you remember?
Us?
No, for the final. Sorry, in the final, because those are the
Spurs.
only 2 teams. And Liverpool, right?
Spurs and Liverpool, yeah.
Teams that spend just like City and Chelsea and PSG, right? No, they don't spend like them. Right?
Not anyway.
He actually nodded yes. I don't know why he nodded yes. So what we're talking about is,
and we were better than that Spurs team.
It's not creating. It's making the the odds better, but it's not. They're not winning because it takes a lot more, right? You got to have the players, you got to have the money, and you got to have the manager. And we know that that's important. You have the right manager. It doesn't matter how much money you give. If you don't have the right manager, it doesn't matter how much money you put in there. It's not working. PSG has proved that over and over again, right? City has one of the better managers, and we've seen them do really well. They still can't get over the hump.
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah.
Chelsea comes out of nowhere. Voila, is able to get a Champions League. But,
The thing, Gary, in this landscape, you have to do everything right. You have to do a lot of your business right. You have to target the right players, make sure they mesh, make sure they work together, make sure you have a good understanding on the field, make sure you have a good manager, and you can do something like a Liverpool. You could maybe, in a more extreme case, do something like a Leicester City. Okay, 6 years ago, 5 years ago was a lot longer. Things have changed since then, but they've just recently won an FA Cup because they are a well-run club. So, a team like Arsenal have to, and I've had to probably tear their plan up and start over. And they've done that with bringing young players in this summer.
I think they did that because they failed in the other plans that they had. All right, because they didn't know how to do them correctly.
Or did not target the right established players.
They didn't do their job. They had a
Mhm.
plan and they failed on their plan. Right, so now they're trying a different one, but it still causes a problem because they don't. It doesn't. It's not a. It's a good for the future, but it's not a plan for the future. Right. I mean, I said it today on a show. You've got Saka and Emil Smith Rowe playing lots of minutes. How many minutes are they going to continue to play before they're done with Arsenal? Because they can't be the only ones getting us there, right? They can't be the only ones. They shouldn't actually be the ones headlining this turnaround, but they are. That's not right. It's not good.
Pepe
You
and
look at.
Martinelli
I
should
always
be
go
getting
back
minutes.
to the Bayern Munich model where Muller was that 22-year-old sitting on the bench with Ribery and and all those players starting ahead of him. 22. Now he's and now you see where he's the senior statesman now, right? At his team. We don't have that. Where's our Muller? Where's our Ribery? Where's our we don't have those players, right? I mean, you
Yeah.
look at all the top teams in the league. Ones that we can think have the plan. They have this one player they brought in that's in their 29-plus-year-old, and the show's going. See, we bring back Stefan. The show's just going downhill. All of a sudden, there's wigs and figs and sticks and stones and smoke and
Keep up, Gary.
I can't keep up with all that stuff. And the noises coming from Tony's place.
It wasn't my place. I didn't have female voices.
Stan said he's got good hearing. He can.
Yeah.
He can.
Stan verified it was you, Tony.
Yeah.
Stan knows the acoustics.
No females here.
As Arsenal fans, Gary, it's a horrible, horrible thing to think, but we're gonna raise these kids, these young players, to be superstars within our team. And if the landscape changes and we can't be successful, it's going to come to pass that the bigger clubs will come for Saka, Emil Smith Rowe, and
we're not in a position to say no because it would be financially irresponsible not to take that money if the rest of the team doesn't meet the same kind of quality that you're looking at these players, right? Because you're going to be trying to catch up and you can't catch up if you have these top players that you can't fill the spaces around them. And what's going on? You guys are still talking a lot of stuff.
I was laughing at Steven's last comment. Sorry.
No, Tony does have people locked in the basement and they're trying to get out.
I don't
The
have a
sedative,
basement,
the
so
right
they're
amount
not
of
locked
sedative
in.
was not
You got
administered.
you got a hole in the ground, dude. I know it. Yeah. Where do you
Well, I might have a bunker,
when the
but I don't have
tornadoes
a
come? You
basement.
hide somewhere. I think you hide. I think you got that like that hideaway place underneath in the ground there. That's all right. You don't have to say anything.
I got a
He's-
doomsday shelter
There you
bunker
go. See, you have to.
Tony is Doomsday, the Doomsday
full
shelter.
of strippers and weed.
Silent Stan smokes gold dipped 5-gram cigars.
So this is the up
Anyway.
and smoke. This is an up and smoke episode right now. If you guys
Yeah,
are
pretty
familiar
much.
with Cheech and Chong, you know that's not probably politically correct, but you know.
The suffice to say, the landscape in the Premier League is changing. We're going to keep an eye on it, and we'll let you know what's happening.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. It's not. It doesn't augur good for us and our plan moving forward with the younger players
Mhm.
in the model. Moving on to next month, I think Arsene Wenger's movie is going to come out. Tony, the Invincibles. Something a lot of Arsenal fans will be looking forward to seeing.
Yeah, hopefully it's more to it than his book had. Hopefully it's not just around Invincibles, but it's more about his entire time there, which it kind of sounded like it from the
I'm
preview
gonna.
of the movie.
So Alex Ferguson has come out and said that this is a bigger achievement than winning the treble for him in 1999. What's your take on that, Tony?
My
To
take on what?
go on beating the whole season, is it a bigger achievement than winning the treble?
Yeah, I think it's a tougher challenge. That's why we're the only team that's done it.
In recent years? Yeah.
Liverpool came close, but didn't do it. If any team was to do it, it'd be that Liverpool team. I think there's too much balance in the league for it to happen anytime soon.
And when I was looking at the fixtures, Gary, the first one will be Watford Liverpool, and we'll touch on that very soon. But as Tony said, Liverpool almost did this 2 years ago, and Watford were the team to beat them.
Yeah, but I mean that season was a little different, right?
Liverpool were pretty good. They won most
No. I mean the
every game.
season, not Liverpool. The season wasn't the same. It was a strange season. It wasn't just stopped right in the middle of the season or towards the end of the season or 2/3 into the season. Was it just like Arteta gets sick and next thing you know we're shut down, right? That's right. So
It's still a season. It still mattered. It's still
yeah, but
played.
it throws you off, right? Yeah, they were basically running away with the league, and then all of a sudden there was a big stop, and it's like, all right, people are going to come back, and everybody's not playing the same, and you know, the tension is not there. You know, you kind of lose it a little bit, especially when well, what we're up 20+ points on second place or something ridiculous like that. Yeah, no, I it's hard, it's weird to say that winning winning the top, winning three, doing the triple and
Three
winning
trophies.
and going undefeated aren't kind of closer than they are. Like one is so much bigger than the other one. I think they're tough to do, right? You don't have to play in any of those cups or international games and get undefeated if you can focus, right? You got a deep squad. It's hard, but you can do it. And you got to get lucky too, right? You get lucky anyways, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can't really get lucky in a knockout round, right? Sometimes well you can get lucky, but what I mean is on a bad day you can't draw. Somebody's got to win at some point, all right? So whereas you can draw and the match is over and you move on.
Yeah, I mean, to go unbeaten the whole season, especially in modern times,
Yeah.
it's really hard to do. And we've seen some of the best sides. You mentioned Liverpool, Manchester City. We waited late into the season for them to become beaten so we could retain our unbeaten tag in the gold
No,
trophy.
as we should, as we should. I mean, there's a team in the states, Miami Dolphins went undefeated, and they have a bottle of champagne ready to go as soon as the last team loses. They're happy to see that because, and they always say it doesn't matter who, if somebody does it, they won't be the first one to do it. So, they're only to be
Mhm.
tied with us, right?
Yeah,
So,
and way back, I think in the 1800s, Preston North End were one of the teams to do it. But of course, it wasn't a 38 game season. Stefan said Sir Alex and Arson always did respect each other. The mind games were amazing, though. They may have respected each other, but they hated each other at the time. And I think,
but you know what? That's what football. That's what competition is all about, though.
yeah,
We might have a beer after the match, but on the field, I'm beating you down. I'm taking any chance I have to beat you down, I'm going to do it, and then I'm going to laugh at you afterwards when we're having a beer. But on the field, nah, no holds bar. I mean, that's what you want, right? You know,
yeah,
I think
put it all out there.
you don't waste the trip, man. You get out there, let's do
Yeah.
it.
Undefeated still equals one trophy, whereas United did win three in that
Yeah.
season. It
No,
was
like I
Champions
said, I
League
think I think there's cases for both. I think they're both hard
levels.
to do. I mean, and as the more and more you go, and any team that wins two trophies in a season is going to be looked at like somebody who won three just because of how much it takes now to even win one these days,
And
right?
unfortunately, we contributed to their treble by losing the FA Cup semi final with that Ryan Giggs goal and Dennis Bergkamp, of all people, missing a penalty, which would have sent us through.
Yeah, I
And
don't
they
know. Did you guys?
won that.
Did you already stop talking about the Invincible video?
Well,
Did you
this
move
is
on
all
from that?
part of the
Oh,
Invincibles.
okay, all
I
right.
mean, we haven't seen the video. We were just
No,
sort
no, I
of,
was looking at the trailer because I
yeah,
said, let me look
go
at the
for it.
trailer,
Yeah,
and the trailer makes it to me it makes it look much better than what his book was, but I don't know if we're going to get much more than what we see.
sure.
Um, that's going to be the part that we're going to want to, the parts they didn't show us in the trailer, the parts of people talking about behind the scenes, if they haven't done that already, right? Um,
They
but it
showed us
looks.
all the good bits. There's nothing left to show us.
Well, I hope not. I hope not. But he's going to have, the one thing that was interesting is that they had Vieira in the trailer. So, you know, not interesting, but it's just like, of the upcoming game. It's just like, okay,
Hmm.
okay,
Yeah, and the Eagles are playing tonight, and that's a precursor to Monday as well. The Crystal Palace Eagles are playing Monday night. Steven said he's never watched Squid Games. Everyone was talking about it. Kids are playing it at school. The
kids are playing it at school.
teachers are going mad.
Hopefully, it's just the game on the chalk with the chalk, right? It's just that
Yep.
game.
No, they're probably just mimicking. They're mimicking what they've seen, right? And that's where.
They're probably mimicking the actual Squid game
Mhm.
with the
No, I
chalk.
mean it is. I mean I watched it, and I would say it's
Tony ruined it for Gary.
it's Hunger Games, and he ruined the ending for me because
He didn't mean to.
I had two episodes left, but I still enjoyed it. I still was screaming at the screen. You know, for those who have
Here's
not seen it, I'm not
and
going to tell you why I
here's
was screaming.
comment from BX Gunner. Fergie and Arsene were class. Jose turned it into a circus.
Well, he took it personal.
He was
Jose
the
took it
special
personal,
one.
and Arson probably maybe took it personal as well
Yeah.
because
So
he should have known better, kind of thing, right? So
Jose arrived on the back of winning the Champions League with Porto, and he was a self-diagnosed special one, or he named himself the special one, right?
Self-proclaimed, right? Get it right.
Self-proclaimed.
yeah, yeah,
See, that's what a good co-host, good panel member helps
yeah.
me out here from time to time a little bit. little bit.
Yeah.
But that was
But
that was
they didn't have I mean, they didn't really have respect for each other. And I would
well,
say it goes both ways because they both kind of did things that were unbecoming of at least arson, right? Things that he was doing, you're like, what? You
well,
look
he was
at when
doing the
he's got
I
same.
the
think they
camera.
had respect for each other. They just didn't show it on the pitch.
Well,
They'd
no,
always have a glass of wine together.
yeah, but like,
In later years, not back then. Not back
no,
then. They were
yeah,
not having wine together.
no, but you know what? I'd
Were
rather
you
have
sitting
that. I'd
in
rather
there
have,
watching, Ray?
yeah, yeah.
Go ahead, Gary.
I said I'd rather have that because this is what it's all about, right? That's the kind of
The
thing. And
rivalry.
like you said, you don't want to necessarily see it, right? You don't want to see them going at each other for 90 minutes and then at the end hugging and walking off the pitch kind of thing. That's not what you want to see it either. Uh, but like I
Uh,
said, yeah,
Stefan said, "Don't think they hated each other per se. It was more mind games of which Alex was a master." But
yeah.
our team and Arsene Wenger was pretty good at the mind games as well because Kevin Keegan cracked as well. Maybe our current team will watch it and get inspired. I hope so. I mean, I wouldn't have said that 5 years ago. Our current team would be able to watch it and get inspired. The likes of a Mustafi or a Kolasinac that would have been still in the team.
It's interesting you say that, but then also you've got Amazon in there videotaping everything that they do right now, and it's just like, and we're like watching like nonsense happen, just poor Arsenal on the pitch, and it's like, but the Invincible video is going to influence them. I hope so, but they could just watch '89 right now and see if they wanted to get some of that, right?
Yeah, and probably what happened with the '89 team was they probably would see a lot of themselves in that side. I still think we had some young players augmented by some good transfers, and hopefully the transfers of last summer will be similar to the transfers of the late '80s when George Graham was assembling that side. Stefan said the way he wound Keegan up was so funny. I would just love to see that again. I would just love it. Yeah, I think we're never going to see that again. We're never going to see that kind of rivalry. Could you see Pep and Tuchel doing that?
Now it's tainted, right? Well, that kind of fire is tainted because now it's all about the money, and everybody's concerned about the
Yeah,
money, and it's not the same as I'm all about the badge. I'm all about trying to beat you on the pitch, as opposed to beat you on the pitch and make sure I can make my money in the next game. So I'm not going 100% like I used to, right? Because I got to hold something back, you
back
know.
back then you had players who cared about their badges. I would say cared about the crest they were playing for. Yeah, they were getting paid pretty well, but they cared about it. The likes of Neville's cared about Manchester United. The likes of Lee Dixon cared about Arsenal, and they
Yep.
would fight tooth and nail for the club. I don't know if we'd say the same thing about the Manchester United players of today, or even some of the Arsenal players, the ones who are not
Most of
ALM
Arsenal
boys.
players.
You
No, I
know,
mean right now you watch was it Van Estel when he
Van Nistelrooy.
yeah, when he drew the penalty kick and
Yeah,
how that whole situation went and how it finished up and everything. You're not going to see that now. Now you're not going to see that because think about it. The last
the
time something
fire.
like that happened, our I'm going to say it. I guess one of our former captains was hugging another player and pushing away his own teammate.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Nah, no, that's no. I just no.
Isn't
No,
that what your captain's supposed to do, Gary?
no, protect the other team. No, you protect your play. You go grab your play and you take him away from the situation.
Arteta
When you're
tells us
protecting
he's a
anybody,
perfect captain.
right? I mean, that's what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to protect his own teammate. You know?
Look, this is our rich history as well. We won the league in great style, in
Mhm.
dramatic fashion in 1989. But as Stan rightly said here, uh, we did actually win the league in a greater fashion in 1991. But because we were so dominating in 1991, it doesn't get as much play as a dramatic win in Anfield does. We lost only one game to Chelsea in that season of 1990-1991.
So I mean, some would say that team was better than Invincibles,
It
right?
was, yeah.
And and some of their doubles were more. We've seen more impressive than the Invincibles. If you try to look at it a little bit differently, right? I mean, they won doubles twice, and then they won Invincibles, but you can't like not look at like 38, that zero in the loss column is just
Yeah.
38
20,
times you went out there.
26,
Oh, it's
26 wins, 12 draws, and
Yeah.
0 losses.
Yeah, so that
And-
zero is really big, right?
Well, we get slagged off for the 12 draws as well. You know what I mean?
I miss withdrawals.
Rivalry fans.
Too many losses now.
You know what? I
Yeah.
think if a team was able to drew like 20 matches and won the league, they wouldn't say a damn thing. They'd be happy to go undefeated. So
So,
if it's possible, you take it.
to round out this section, I have a question for each of you and everyone in the chat box as well.
Sure you do.
All right, I'll start with you, Mouthy. Invincible season, would you sacrifice one of those games to be a loss so you could have a Champions League win in 2006?
How the fuck do they correlate? That was 3 years
He just gave
later.
you a scenario and answered the
Scenario.
damn question.
That was 3 years later.
It doesn't. It has no. They're not related. Just answer the question now.
Cheers, Gary.
What is wrong with you, man?
I think
He's off
undefeated
tonight, right?
seasons,
He's off.
He gave
an
you
undefeated seasons be in people's memory longer than a Champions League final. No, I wouldn't trade it. I'd rather have the Invincibles.
You would not have a Champions League trophy in Arsenal's cabinet right now, but keep the Invincible tag.
Yep.
Okay, I think I would trade the Invincibles for one Champions League win. I think I would do that. Gary?
That is a tough one. Like Tony said, it's really tough. I didn't experience the loss, so it's hard for me to say what that would have felt like watching it.
While you're bossing them with 10 players.
The Champions League final, I let me just say I've not watched it back.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like
I don't think any of us have though. Actually watched it.
Yeah.
It was heartbreaking. Sol Campbell scores. You're 1-0 up.
Yeah.
We should have won. We should have had the second goal.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't see it live. I was seeing, I think I may have seen it.
Until the last 10 minutes, we're still
I can't
dominating
imagine
them with 10
watching it,
men.
knowing that you're that close to winning it, and then have all that drama happen, and still be able to come out maybe on the other end and still get it, and not be able to do it. But if you're saying,
sacrifice one of those games to be a loss, you win the league, but you're not invincible, but you get a Champions League 3 years later.
Yeah. No, I think.
Tony, you're in the minority, Tony, so far.
Yeah.
You don't have to point that one out. I'm usually there.
Yeah.
Gary's undecided still.
I'm undecided because I didn't feel the pain.
Flip a fucking coin, Gary.
It's hard. You don't need to feel anything.
No. But you guys are feeling it, so then that's why it's easier to make a decision one way or the other.
Not if or either. Pick.
I think I would want to have both. So there you go. I want both.
No, come on, pick one.
No, I want both. I want the
it's one or other.
No, sorry. I meant to say I want to finish top of the league and I want the Champions League. So it doesn't matter.
That wasn't a part of the question.
All right, lose your invincibility tag, right? You get the league title and you get the Champions League as well.
Yeah.
Stan is 50-50. Stan, you gotta have an answer. Good to see you, Ray. Hope you're gonna be better soon. Been having internet problems for almost 2 weeks now.
Yeah, you gotta put more. You gotta feed those gerbils a lot more. Then
technology is frustrating.
WD-40 and all that stuff. Make sure the wheel is spinning good.
Imagine if Vieira stayed in an extra year. And we'll get into chatting a little bit about Vieira. So So yeah, Stan, we need your answer, Stan. he he likes a bit of gold. Stan does. A gold trophy is very sexy. Had 2 bottles of champagne in the fridge. It tastes now. I don't know what that means. Arsenal needed a Champions League win to consolidate their stature. Exactly. If we're far away from a Premier League, Gary, or even top four,
Would
or
say it again?
if we are far away from top four or Premier League, we're definitely that much further away from Champions League.
Well, no, we're definitely far away from Champions League, regardless of where we finish up. Even if we finish second right now, we are far away from Champions League. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
United has finished second in the league, and they're still far away from winning a Champions League.
Yep.
I mean,
Or even the Premier League.
Liverpool, who finished fourth, is better suited than definitely Chelsea, right? So it's not the league standing doesn't tell you all. Have you done it before? And so far, Chelsea and Liverpool have in the last 4 years. City had a chance, can do it. And United, when's the last time they've made it to a semi?
They've been in a lot of semifinals and they've lost them.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not that easy, right?
It's not that easy. Steven said he was supposed to be at the Crown Court for sentencing, and he fecked it off so he could go out to the pub and watch the game instead of missing it, being in jail on induction with no TV.
I kind of feel like that might be the best option. I mean, especially if they had won it, you would have been like laughing right now, right? Later on in the jail with no TV.
The ex-Gunner, we technically died after that 06 final loss. That's when the team was being dismantled.
And that's the poor part. Like, right? You've been on, you go through all of that, and then you come almost that's like looking at Liverpool.
Yes, right? Coming to the end of their cycle.
Liverpool loses the Champions League, and in the next 2 seasons finishes tops in the Champions League, and then the next year in their domestic league.
Yeah.
Right? So you're like it isn't like you've hit the top and you just drop down the next season. No, you were almost there. Take away, all the craziness that happened, you could get back there again. That's the plan. To break it all up, but when you're there and you didn't really need to.
It was a really really good team that was put together. Really should have won a Champions League. Got to a quarterfinal against Chelsea, lost. Really, really good, winning the league, going unbeaten. And then the following season, 04-05 or 05-06, was a very difficult season, but they got to the Champions League final, and obviously it ended in a bad way. As Ray said, we had lost one match in the unbeaten season, would have finished top. European Cup is top, then winning a World Cup championship. A good Belgian Flemish sour ale sounds great right about now. Yeah. 4-1 for me.
And what's disappointing? I have no beverages in the house. Really, really bad planning.
Yeah.
I bet you have coconut water.
Coconut water. You can mix that with anything, I hear.
No, it's what? I said I had no beverage in the house. I have no beer.
Ray Anderson would prefer he lost one game and had the UCL title there. Okay, let's move on to that. That was the Invincibles. Hopefully, we'll see what comes out from that. But it'll be an interesting watch, and all those Gooners who have not had the opportunity to live those days can hopefully live through it in the movie for a little bit as well.
And it's not even coming out until next year.
I thought it was November, next month. No,
it's coming to Prime Video in 2022. So
that's harsh. That's harsh. All right, let's get into the Premier League weekend. We're going to preview.
And you know
the
the Eagles are losing at home,
Yep.
so I'm
We
hoping the Eagles
expect
are
it.
losing on Monday as well.
Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that. 2 Eagles losses if it means a win for the Arsenal. Definitely, I will take that.
Yeah, but my
Okay,
other Eagles aren't at Selhurst Park.
we are going to get into the upset challenge. We're going to preview the Premier League coming up. Football is back. Um, what have you missed football in the last 2 weeks, Gary?
Do I miss football?
Did you miss football? Did you like the international break?
I actually don't mind watching it, so I did watch some,
Gary
and
skipped it.
no
Skipped watching
Boddington's
American
stand.
football for
You know what? That
international
reminds
football.
me when I go out and refill the beer fridge. I'm getting Boddingtons, man. Yeah, I'm getting two. I'm getting 2 packs.
Oh, this is when you're going to go buy some.
Yeah, I
Right.
have to. That's gonna have to be. Have to make a run, as they call it.
Make a run.
Yeah. No, so like yeah, no, I liked watching it. I mean, there was it the UEFA semifinals or whatever that thing was.
Yeah,
Like
League of
League
Nations.
of Nations. I mean, that was cool to watch, right? People paying for something, right? Teams playing for it, for the top teams in Europe playing for something, right? That was nice to see. So no, I would say it was good to watch. I mean, I'm hoping that we benefited from it, Arsenal. I mean, I don't. I think that Brighton game basically, hopefully, was like a wake up call of things that need to happen, right? And we actually see that on Monday. We have a lot of time with all of the players to get them ready to play.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Well, you guys chat. I'll be right back. You guys chat about the Vieira Arteta duel on the sidelines and what you hope to see, Gary, Tony. I'll be right back.
you gonna go first, Tony?
Yeah, I want to see us come out, play fast football, play an attacking football instead of laying back, playing counter-attacking football. Palace isn't a team you do that on. You go out there and you try to dominate your will against them because Vieira's I have guys pumped up to play the game. And hopefully we have a better plan than we have on most of our games.
No, definitely, definitely. I mean, I was talking. Was it? I was going through their lineup trying to figure out, do they have some good players? And it's like they have good players, but are they, for me, anywhere better than what we saw from Brighton? And the answer, I believe, is no. They might have some. Edouard might be the missing link. We know what Zaha is, so we should be able to hopefully get more out of this match than the
That was
Brighton
a quick
match.
one, Ray.
Yeah, what did he
Huh?
do? Said you were going to be gone for a while. I thought we'd be able to
No,
finish
He
the
just took
show.
a piss out the back door.
just for a second. No. I'll
Yeah.
go talking
No,
something.
I feel like I believe we are the better team. We might not be coached like we are the better team, and our performances show that. But I think we are the better team. I think I believe we got the deeper squad at the least. So
Yeah.
the first go around doesn't, if the starters
It's,
don't work, we should be able to switch it up and get something out of the match. We
let's
have a lot of rested players.
So yeah, let me throw this up here, Gary. This is the next block of 4 games. We'll quickly go through
That
these,
fucking
and then
roller coaster we got there.
this is the roller coaster, the highs and the lows. And Tony, it's Palace and Aston Villa. The Villa is going to be the big one for us, I think. And 4 games apart, bookending the week for the work week, Monday and Friday.
And all of these are winnable games. We got to be beating these type of teams if we're to compete at all for a European spot.
The ex-gunner said, Gary, that Crystal Palace will score. Yeah, they probably will score, so we'll need to as well.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at, the stats, right? you look at the stats, they are. I mean, they've scored double the amount of goals that we have, but they've only given up one less than us. So you know, so I think their defense is suspect as well. If we're saying our defense looked poor, but we've been playing much better the
Yep,
last
my
4
eyes on
matches.
you, Ray.
Me, Ray Anderson, I'm used to Ray cheating me. That's not at all true.
Not at all true. I didn't have Salhurst Park down first.
This is the most animated I've seen him all night, Gary.
Yeah, he's on one today. Yeah, or two. I don't know.
We can't let them dictate the flow and have to press early, hopefully nicking a goal. All right, so listen, here's what we'll do. We'll get into the Premier League and then we'll preview Arsenal at the end, okay? And
You keep switching up on us, so
I know I'm a
yeah.
little scattered, sorry. Keeping you on your
usually
toes.
end up skipping it this year. We've skipped Arsenal half the
Keeping
time.
you on your toes. So we'll get some stuff out of the way. Watford versus Liverpool, Gary. You mentioned this earlier in the podcast. Liverpool 2 seasons ago, going unbeaten, and they come up against Watford. Do you see anything different happening?
This is not that season, anyways. I don't think.
Not that season, no.
Yeah, it's not that season. I think Watford is. Where is this match at? I guess is the question.
It's at let's say Vicarage Road, if that's what Watford's ground is, unless they named it something different.
No, I mean I see Liverpool winning this one, being able to handle this one. So yeah, I don't even. No, I don't think we're going to see. I kind of feel like we're not going to see much in the way of surprises this weekend.
Yeah.
This weekend. So yeah, I could see it. Liverpool even going on the road and maybe getting that 1-goal win if they struggle, but I don't think they should be struggling.
Yeah, Stefan, the Leicester game is a tough one, a third one on our schedule before we face Watford again. Tony, Watford at home to Liverpool, and
Liverpool on the road
Gary thinks it's pretty cut and dry. Liverpool are going to win there. I think they have 4 wins and 3 draws. Liverpool has started the season pretty well. They're unbeaten.
Yeah, it started off better than most of us thought they would, I think. Like I said, to me, it's a bit walking apart for Liverpool. They'll get an easily win away from them.
I think it'll be a draw there. Watford, Liverpool. I'm going to go for a draw, but I'm reserving. I don't know whether to pick that as my
upset. Is that your upset?
No, I don't know yet. I'll start off Southampton versus Leeds, 17 versus 16.
That's 13 points there, Ray, you'd pick up.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. Leeds got me points last time around. I think they can continue on that vein and kickstart their season a little bit. I think Leeds will win at Southampton. Gary?
Yeah, I think I was listening to Lolo's on the show today. They were going through all the games and stuff.
Yeah.
And it sounded as if there might be some players missing in that match. So it could be a lot closer than you think. So it could be closer, but I think Leeds still has more. 2-1, but it's going to be tight to Leeds.
Leeds win that one, and Stefan thinks the same thing. Tony, I think Leeds will win. Tony?
I think it'll be a tight game, but Leeds will pull it off.
Ray's going for a draw between Southampton and Leeds. Tony, Norwich versus Brighton. We're going to find out if Brighton are indeed the real deal against Norwich.
Really? Norwich is Aviva?
Norwich
is McGowan?
I threw that in to test you. You're still awake. It's good. That's good.
For a second, I was like, is that what he's doing?
Right? Yeah. Brighton. Next.
Norwich are going to be the acid test for Brighton.
Who's winning, Gary?
To see if Arsenal's and
you know what? If Brighton, yeah, So you got Stan's pick there, right?
Stan, that's only worth 1 point to you. You want to reconsider that?
Oh, that's true as well.
17
Yeah,
versus 16, Stan.
yeah. You
You
probably
got to
need
look
somebody.
at the league placings.
You know, he
He
doesn't
picked
know those.
Arsenal when it was only 1.2.
Yeah.
Stan doesn't care if he picks up just a point.
Gary?
No, I
He's in for the long haul.
did Brighton have a lot of players travel? I don't think so, right? So I think I know it's at Norwich, but nah, I think Brighton's going to win this one.
Yeah. Okay. Brighton will be the real deal. I think they'll beat Norwich and they'll have vindicated themselves as a top 6 team. And Arsenal's results will look a lot better in the light
After
of
that
that.
acid test.
I mean, I would love to see an upset, but I can't see it. I mean,
Yeah.
I can't
Shout
see
out
it.
to the Brooklyn crew, Lolo.
You know, what's funny is they, you know, how it's Lolo on the stoop. They were actually on the stoop. It was interesting to see to sit on the stoop doing this show. So that was kind of cool. So, yeah.
Gary against the back wall. Tony, help me out here. No, Gary,
No,
who said this?
Prison escape for him. Like my hair does.
Norwich win.
Prison break for Gary.
Hope Brighton win. Prison break. That's my hero. Okay.
Hey,
Yeah, I think
Gary too.
Brighton will win. Gary, Aston Villa at home to Wolves.
Aston Villa, huh?
10th versus 12th. You can tell that Gary. This is the first time Gary's looking at the fixture list.
I am Villa. I don't know. There's going to be an upset, though, right? There's going to be an upset, but I think Villa's going to be able to pull this one out. So, yeah, no upset there.
All right, I think Villa will be Wolves. Tony?
I always go for Wolves for our on the stoop buddies.
Yeah, for Mark. Yeah. Tony, Leicester City at home to Man United.
Yeah, that's my upset pick. Fuck you, Ray. You got that quick enough.
I was gonna pick it, but I'm gonna switch now to Watford versus Liverpool. I'll pick that as the upset.
Not that happen, Ray.
Okay, I'm gonna write it down. Okay, you're going for Leicester to upset Man United.
Yep.
Okay, it's a good shout because that's what I was eyeing as well. Gary, can Leicester beat United?
Yeah, we need some happiness over the weekend, so that's my upset pick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gary's picked that as well. Leicester win for Ray Anderson.
Ray,
Wolves
you can't choose. You can't switch your pick now.
Stan is picking Wolves now. Okay. No, I'm not going to change. Not going to change. Tony, Manchester City at home to Burnley.
Manchester City should win at home.
Yeah, that should be open and cut case there, Gary. City.
Yeah, City. I mean, even if they went with their second 11, they should be able to win that one.
The late game on Saturday, Gary. That's going to be. I'll put down here a title credential check for Chelsea.
Okay, I thought you were going to say match.
No, title credential check on Chelsea.
Yeah.
You have to go to Brentford and get something.
Yeah, we'll find out, right? If Brentford is better than what we thought they were. But yeah, I think they're going to be playing in. Where are they playing? Oh, they're playing at home again.
Brentford are playing at home against Chelsea, and Stefan, a draw would get me points in this scenario. So we are picking the upset.
Why can't it be Brentford showing their European potential? Chelsea.
You know what? If that's the case, then that's good for us. That means that the top four aren't that strong, but I think they are. So
Watford will not be Liverpool. Stefan, on Saturday, when Watford beat Liverpool, I'll be thinking about you. BX Gunner said Ole and United are in the mud. United to win 3-0 from Taib. City 4-0. Yeah, City are going to pour it on against Burnley. My upset is Burnley versus City. Burnley to nick a point. Big match for Brentford, Tony. And Tony just flipped that. Why can't it be a European check for Brentford?
Yep.
It's going to be close, but I think Chelsea will come through. I think Chelsea will win that game. What do you think, Gary?
They have more than it's almost like they're not as deep as City, but they do have a strong bench, so they can bring players on that can maybe show up. So yeah, no, Chelsea I think's got this one. Yeah,
All right. It'll be interesting, Stefan. It'll be interesting. Watford versus Liverpool. Not going to happen. I think Liverpool have rode their luck a little bit so far to be unbeaten in the season. They've won
Mhm.
4 and drawn 3 of their games. Um, okay, Everton versus West Ham.
You asked me.
That was why I hesitated. I didn't know if I'd asked you or not.
You
Ray,
never
what,
fucking
Ray?
know.
It's
You
like there's
screw
only
up
like
two,
there's
three
only
times
like
every week.
2 of us here with you. You go back and forth.
Chelsea.
Put
Move
some
on.
check marks in your notebook and make sure you get.
Oh, yeah, that's an idea. I'll put a column in, a T for Tony and a G for Gary and an R for little old me.
Come on,
Rainbow
Tony.
Ray.
Tell us, Tony.
2 R's. 2 R's for you, Ray.
See, this is how I slip over him because he doesn't
Tony,
get
answer
to
the
the
damn
point.
question.
You
What
don't get to
question?
the point.
What question?
Chelsea.
Hey,
I
Chelsea's
all
said
right.
Chelsea.
Well, let's move on.
If Tony is the real hype, he'll make a difference. Be good to see both teams attacking. And we're looking forward. That'll be a good game
Well,
indeed.
that could be like a 4-2 match.
Yeah. That Liverpool game was something else. Brentford Liverpool. 3-3. Gary, Everton versus West Ham. I'm calling this a tier 2 competition. These are teams that are going to be in and around, hopefully in and around Arsenal. And this matters to us. Everton versus West Ham.
Yeah, I mean,
Impacts our season.
you kind of want West Ham to win, right?
Yes. Everton are 5th.
Yeah, you kind of want West Ham to win this one. Can they do it? Yeah, they can.
Yeah, they can.
They can. Will they?
Go
Where
for
we
a
go?
draw.
Where we
Like
going?
Ray
Where we
said.
going? Where we going?
Go for a draw.
Yeah, West Ham should be able to get a point. And you know what? This is the Everton team, right? Until we see consistency over a number of games from them, we're never going to
No.
know. It's like Leeds when they're running hot, they're good, but when they are not at all, right? And you never know. And like last season, you didn't know what Leeds team you're going to get, and now you kind of know, and it's not good.
Yeah.
But
I think Leeds are suffering that second season syndrome when
Yeah.
they come into the Premier League.
Yeah.
West Ham win 3-2 for BX Gunner, and Everton West Ham draw.
Yeah, that's what I have. A
Tony,
draw.
did we get your Everton West Ham?
Did you put a T and G down yet?
I'll do that next time. I'm not doing it tonight.
To me, the best result for us is a draw, so I'll go with a draw.
Yeah. All right. I think we might possibly do a Sunday show, and it could be during the Newcastle Tottenham game, almost like a watch along. So come and join us for the Newcastle. Watch Newcastle beat Tottenham. I think Newcastle will beat Tottenham, Gary.
You sure you don't want to do that as your upset pick?
Yeah, I'm sure.
You don't seem very sure, right?
Come on, Joe Willock pops up and scores again, Gary.
You know what? Maybe you know what?
If they draw and we win, we will be above West Ham, says Ray.
Yeah, I don't. No, I'm not. I'm not. No, I can't. Yeah, Newcastle wins at home. I can't. No, I can't. The other team, no, don't want to even.
Yeah.
No, they get nothing.
I
Didn't
think
like it.
I'll do a watch along, and I think it'll be fun watching Newcastle beating Tottenham.
That would be nice.
Yeah. The Scum to win.
No, I can't. I can't cheer for them. I can't.
Not been a good hunting ground for them recently in recent seasons. So I've got every Newcastle buoyed by the prospect of the takeover, or it's already happened.
And I, you know what? That's the other part to that. That's going to be. Are they? Do a lot of them see the door? You know, are they seeing the door open up, like the door out? You know,
Mhm.
is Steve Bruce seeing the door out? Is he actually? Is he actually going to be into this whole thing? Is he actually going to be working?
Yeah,
You don't.
I
You
mean,
know.
he's going to be working. He's a
No,
professional.
I mean, well, he's a professional, but mentally, it's when you know that your time is short, and it could be really, really short,
Yeah, it could
right?
be his. It could be January. Next
Could
window
be next.
opens.
Could be next. Could be the next international break, which is before January. So yeah,
Yeah,
no,
does San Maximin get built around? I rate that player. I rate
yeah,
San Maximin.
they're gonna have. They're gonna supposedly have the funds to do it, right?
The better players will stay, and they will obviously bring in players for the weaker positions. And
Mhm.
that's how they're not gonna they're not gonna they're not gonna purchase 11 players in January. At least I don't think so. Anyway,
You say that, but they can, right? I mean, what's to say they can't? It's all about actually managing your, what you
that
do.
would be madness. That would be madness if they went and got what the I forgot you again, Tony.
Yep.
What? What? What?
We haven't even got
Draw.
to you yet.
Draw.
We didn't come to you yet. A draw.
Oh,
He's going for a
And,
draw.
and, and Tony, do you know what the score? And do you know what the question is?
Willock is not on loan. Willock was sold for 20, maybe 19 million. How much was it, Tony?
20.
20 million to Newcastle. He was our only sale.
Yeah, we finally made a sale. Got a player out for a lot more than we thought. Probably just about right. Yeah, I think everybody's happy with that number.
Just about right. I would have liked. I'm not, actually, I
No,
would have
but I
liked
mean,
closer.
no, I mean, I
To
understand what you're saying, but I think that's actually pretty good business for Arsenal in terms of what they've done in the past. I mean, when's the last time in the last 3 years we sold a player for around where they were worth?
We'll look at Burnley in 2 seasons. I don't want to. I don't want to think about that. Uh, Newcastle will go down being the richest club in the world. That would be something. So sorry for Willock when the takeover completes. Then he will probably be out of Newcastle. And that's a player as you guys know, I rated Joe Willock quite a lot.
If you use the players right, then yeah. But if you can't use them, then they got to go.
Yeah. All right, big one. We've gone through all of these games. We're going to have some upsets. So Leicester's going to beat Man United, maybe. Watford's definitely going to be Liverpool's first game back after a long interval. Right, Tony? And then everything's set up. I mean, all of the teams that we want to jump
I'm sure
over,
you'll be getting points somehow.
all the hey, those points are real. I don't cheat at all. And yeah, this is the updated points here. 34. So Tony and I are equal on 34. Sam is complaining, but he's not so far back. Gary's the one who needs to get
Yeah,
his
you
act
have the
together.
benefit of
Gary
an
and Stan
Arsenal
needs
versus
to get
Arsenal
a,
game, knowing
as they
who
say in
Ben
Australia,
Lacazette out.
get a wriggle on, Gary. Get a wriggle on.
I need to get moving. I mean,
Yeah.
Stan is even close to me, right?
Yeah.
Even Stan. I joke, I kid.
Um, not being able to take piss out of Newcastle is something I'm going to miss. Yeah.
You know what? This is why you got to do it now. Because if you think that's going to happen, then they need to feel the pain today, right? This season, because everybody's going to be going after them anyways. It's almost like the was it the ESL kind of thing? Everybody was against that. Now
Mhm.
everybody's going to be against Newcastle because of what could happen in the future. It might not even happen, but we're fearful of it.
So, Tony, Monday, we have an opportunity to jump to where? Where are we going to jump to?
How much can we jump?
How much? What?
How many
How many?
positions are we going to jump? 13. Yeah, possibly we could jump to 8th or ninth place with a win over Crystal Palace. Gary, what do you want to see in the team? Are you going to go with much the same team? Are you forgiving the team from the Brighton display? Are you commending the team for the grit to get a point in a difficult away game? And by the way, I was not making excuses for weather, Tony. Not making excuses. Merely telling everyone what
It
it's.
was windy and wet. We're not fucking
Yeah, and
lose.
on Sunday, I'm going to tell you what the weather is going to be like on Monday. Okay, it's
You've
not an
never done
excuse.
that before.
I did it
No,
before.
no, you did it the last match, but you didn't do it
No, I
before
did it before. I did it for the Wimbledon game. Go back and check it.
the Wimbledon game.
The Wimbledon game.
So that's when you started.
That's when I
Where's your
started.
fucking weather report now? What's
I
it gonna
know
be
who wants
Monday,
that.
Mike?
It's not. What is that? Yeah, it's you're in London. It's gonna rain. All right, it's gonna be foggy, raining, and that's it.
There's
Let's
good
move on.
days. There's good days there too. We could jump to seventh, all going well. They're a big club, but only in the northeast. Watch the plastic come out of woodwork. And
Yeah,
watch all of the big footballers want to go to Newcastle and suddenly understand where it is and what a great city it is. All right. Yeah. What do you want to see, Gary? I mean, you're forgiving the team for the Brighton game.
we're giving them
Um,
no. There
do you
was
think we should switch it up a little bit, bring somebody in, or play the same players and give them the opportunity to redeem
as a
themselves?
manager, I would do that, but as Arteta, he doesn't like to switch things up even when they're not working.
What would you do? You would want to switch it up a bit.
Yeah, I would like to see Pepe in there, or like to see Lacazette in there. You know, does that mean Gore gets to sit? I don't know. I could see that.
But
Every
Bring a Pepe in, who's his international teammate is as Wilfred Saha, and he's got to be motivated to play well against Crystal Palace.
yeah, that's the thing. We don't Pepe. I don't know what motivates him. I mean, I don't. Have you ever seen him pissed off? Have you really seen him happy? I
Yeah,
mean, what? I mean, I don't. What are the buttons you got to press to get him to be like upset or really, really happy? I mean, we need to know what those are.
Ray Anderson, Pepe for Emil Smith Rowe. There, I did it.
Well, I said Erdegaard could probably sit, and then you
Yeah,
move Mr. Rowe inside, and you put Saka on the left. Sorry, yeah, Saka on the left or on the right, and Pepe on the left if you wanted to, or let him switch.
they're
You know,
interchangeable
so
on
I
the
think
wings.
what I would do. I mean,
Well,
we
will we
need to
see it, Gary? Will we see it? No.
just see the same old, same old.
Just trying to force things, Tony. Just trying to force it, and it's going to happen for 30 minutes every four games.
Part of me thinks we should be able to see it because I mean we've had a lot of players have had rest, right, and they should be able to be ready to play for this one. So you should be able to, if that's your starting 11, then you go with it. But like we have a short game on Friday, so you should be playing Pepe and Lacazette, I think. on Friday. Do you play them against the weaker team or the stronger team?
That is a good shout, Gary. Looking at Crystal Palace, that will be the weaker team of the two. Gary makes a good point. Play
Yeah.
some of your substitute players. Some of the players have not been playing. They may have a point to prove. May want to prove a point. May want to be in the team and may want to perform and show Arteta that they have a place in future lineups.
Yeah, regardless of if we play Friday or not, I'd be starting both Pepe and Lacazette. I think we're better with them in there instead of on the bench.
I mean, they need games, and basically a Monday, Friday is almost like a midweek game to me in the way that the time between games is short. So
That's a good one. BX Gunner. Let's
you
convince
know
Pepe
what?
it's a Europa League game.
Whatever it takes, like if it takes, like you know what, the match starts 1-0, you're down. You need to get a next goal. Whatever that mentality is, whatever that button is. Arteta needs to find it in Pepe. If it, you know what, it's the Snicker bar. He's not getting the Snicker bar. You ever see those Snicker bar commercials? You know,
Yeah.
that is Pepe. He's the one that he hasn't had a Snickers bar in his whole life. He
That's what
needs one.
hunger does to you, Gary.
Exactly, man. I mean, the man scored so many goals there. Why not? Come on, dude. This is not Crystal. Who are we playing? Crystal Palace.
Yep.
This is Krista Palace. You know.
Yeah. Let's turn it into a Wi-Fi password, right? So Arsenal versus Palace. Press play. It's time to go, Tony. Back five picks itself.
It should.
Should pick itself at this point in time. No real injuries to speak of. We got Ramsdale, Tierney. On the other side, Tamiyasu and Ben White and Gabriel.
I was a weird on the other side. We got three players, and on one side we got one player.
Well, I went Tierney, and then on the other side,
Yeah, but then you went
everyone
back
else
to then you went back
understood.
to nobody understood that. It made no
Everyone.
sense.
It's Irish. Come on.
Okay, I don't understand this
I
Irish
speak
thing.
fluent Irish.
That is terrible.
There, Marathon Bar. Remember, it used to be called the Marathon Bar.
I
Snickers.
do remember. I do remember that. You can't get them anymore?
Snickers is an absurd
They put
rename.
marathon wrappers
The
on them like
marathons.
last year or the year before
Yeah.
for a
Oh,
while.
okay.
I found that very difficult, Stefan, when they changed it from a marathon to a Snickers.
Yeah, but you know what? I love the commercials because they're funny.
He could have some joy with the recent fatherhood approaching. Maybe he shows it in his play.
But he looked tired before he had a baby. Now he's got a baby. Right?
Yeah.
The man looks tired out there, and now he's got a kid. You know what? Like I said, everybody that went out and scored, you shouldn't be able to go wrong with any one of them. The only one that didn't score is Erdegaard, and I don't think he got an
Yeah.
assist. So
Yep.
if you're talking about form, go with the players
You
that have
talk
form.
about form, you talk about internationals, you go Emile Smith Rowe, Pepe, and Aubameyang in that side, and Saka as well. All those players have scored in the international arena in the last 2 weeks. So there it is. That's your team, Tony. Partey is going to be anchored in midfield. You got maybe Sambi beside him.
We didn't hear anything from Sambi. Did he play? Probably not, right? Oh no, Belgium was playing in the semifinals. He didn't play, right? Did he go to that?
I don't think so.
You were watching it, weren't you?
I don't remember. No, I was saying did he go? I knew he wasn't going to play. And said did he go? I don't remember them. I don't remember seeing the lineup with the. Players on the bench.
Ray Anderson, we talked about Tavares a little bit earlier in the podcast. He is going to be able to have Tierney last till the end of the season because he is coming in at vital stages in games in the second half, and I think he's saving his legs. Gary,
Well, no, I mean he has a point there. International break, and I assume, and I know he played at least one match. I'm not sure if he played two or not. But
he's 2 assists, 1 goal and 2 assists for the under 21s.
no, I mean Tierney.
Tavares, Tierney.
I mean Tierney. Whether or not you would play Tavares, right?
Yeah, I mean, it would be a big sea change from. You have a great suggestion. You got 2 games in 4 days. Why not mix up your team a little bit? It's kind of what we want. We wanted our.
Arteta's too stubborn. You know why, right?
No, because
Oh no,
he's gonna
it's
ask
not.
those guys to be able to play that starting 11 to play back-to-back games essentially, right?
If we didn't like changing squads every 4 days last season, why should we like it this season?
Oh my gosh,
Because we're
you're trying
not
to.
playing the right fucking
But you know,
players,
he never
right?
played the same 11. Like for example, in consecutive Premier League games with Euros in the middle, he didn't do that. That's what I believe. That's more the case. It switched up every time, and it did. And it wasn't like, all right, well, we're playing in Premier League on the weekend, so we're going to switch it up. Or we've got 3 matches. We've got two. We got a Europa League game, and we got a really tough game. I'm going to play the
We
same
never knew who
starting
was
lineup.
playing right back last year. We never knew who the center backs were going to be. It's a fucking guessing game.
Yeah. No, but I mean,
Now the back five should be
you were
easy.
going to switch it up, right? And when there's 3 games between, when there's 3 days between a game, you're going to switch that up.
I guess we'll see what happens.
Are you not in touch with Uncle Artie
No,
anymore?
so you're saying if this was a European game, you would play your starting lineup in back-to-back games, right?
I don't know. I really don't know where I stand on that one.
No. Okay, you don't know where you stand on it, but that's what we're talking about, right? It's a short turnaround.
I just
International,
it's
international.
4 days. It's 4 days. It would be like a Europa League game, and then a league game at the weekend.
I thought you
Similar,
were in touch with Uncle Artie. What happened, right?
similar scenario.
Did he tell
I
you?
Down
wanted
the family
him.
tree?
I wanted him to have a consistent lineup. So did you, Tony, and that's what we're getting.
Now it's the wrong lineup.
No, but at some point he's going to need to rest these guys. We do believe that, right?
Yeah. If you don't know your best 11, as Stefan says, ... You know. Yeah. I believe he does know his best 11. It may not be the best 11 because we're talking about not scoring enough goals.
Because, like you said, this Crystal Palace is our easier game.
Yes.
And then if you play your starting 11 in the Aston Villa game, and then you play them in the what's the next game after that, right?
Leicester.
Leicester. So you want to have, and you're thinking those are probably your 2 or tougher games, but you have a lot more time in between, right? I don't know. I don't think we have a midweek game that next week, right?
We have the 26th of October. It'll be Leeds.
So that's over a week. That's almost 2 weeks from now. So yeah. So I think we're fine there, right? So you'd rather have your starting 11 go back-to-back games, Villa and Leicester City, than you would Crystal Palace and Villa, right?
I'm open to be talked around, and you just talked me around. Okay, you see that happen? That just happened.
Yeah. I mean, and is that BX is saying that Martinelli is?
Did he get injured again?
Yeah.
And I know Arteta's been talking about it. But between the Villa match and the Leicester match, we have 8 days, but we have Leeds in the Carabao Cup. So the 22nd is the Villa game. 8 days from now. And then 4 days later, we do have Leeds on the 26th. And then I think the weekend, it is Leicester. So, yeah, these are games that are going to come thick and fast. And it's another block of 5 games to get past. Couple of things. Tony, what's your feeling about the next 5 games? Do you think we can do something similar to what we did before the last international break, which was 3 wins, 1 draw, and a win in the cup.
Yeah, to
Can
me,
can
those
we
were
match
teams
that?
we
Can we match
should
that?
have been beaten. I think this time we're going to struggle more against them. I think our looks kind of come up. I don't think we're going to get as many points as we hope for. It should be automatic 10 points out of those games. But for some reason, I see us struggling.
9 points, Gary.
9 points out of 5.
4 league games and 1 cup game.
Oh,
We,
yeah. No,
we
I think. I mean, we need at least 10 points.
3 wins and a draw again to make up for those for
At
that
some
bad
point, we're
start
gonna
to the
have
season.
to overachieve, all right, and get something out of these matches more than we expect.
What start, Ray? The first 3 games didn't count, you said.
Yeah, it looks like Martinelli hurt his ankle in practice.
Yeah.
I mean, the man's getting hurt in practice, man. We're talking practice here, right?
Yeah. 9 points.
Not a game. Not a game.
I think 9
Right.
points is not a bad haul from those 4 games.
No. 9 would be. I'll take the 9, but we need at least 10. We need to, because we need to show some consistency.
I'll take the 9, but we need at least 10.
No, I mean, am I gonna go crazy? We only get the 9, which means we're gonna take a loss. I don't feel like we should be taking a loss. That's all.
We're 5 games unbeaten. This will be. We're going to get a loss somewhere along the line. You know.
You don't have to get a loss. That's the thing, right?
Mm.
Yeah, but the man's in practice all the time. He doesn't even play, and he's getting injured. That's the
Come
part
on, Ray.
that's
Would
just
I win
disappointing,
24
right?
in a row?
We don't get to see him play, but he gets hurt in practice after not playing for what seems like forever.
Where's optimistic Ray at?
Where were you at the last few minutes? I was asking you questions. Mm-hmm.
I can answer them.
Okay, so Monday, I think that's you come up with some good stuff. Maybe play a weakened team on Monday. And
How is that weaker?
How is it a weaker team? You're bringing in Pepe. You're bringing
and
in players.
Lacazette were weaker.
You're bringing in players who have not
According
been playing.
Cool. Artie. They are, right?
Tony's argumentative tonight.
I know the game sure changed when Lacazette came on the last time.
You know what? The one thing that I always say is, yeah, he came in for a short amount of time and he made a difference. When he starts, sometimes we're like, where did he go? You know, that's going to be that's the problem. We see these players come in, they do like 30 minutes and they look really good, and you give them 90 minutes and they can't even show you anything for the whole match.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, what's going on? So the mentality is not there sometimes.
BX Gunner said we could get 2 wins and 2 draws. That will be 8 points. I'll take the 9. I think anywhere between 8 and 10 points would not be terrible. Fair enough. In those 4 games.
8's not good enough. 10's minimum needed.
And one thing, Tony, I wanted to highlight: we're going to play Palace. We're going to play Villa, both at home. How many points did we get from the return fixtures last season in those 2 games?
I don't fucking remember that far back, Ray.
I bet Gary knows.
I'm on to this season.
I would have to look it up if I.
The reverse fixture in January was 0-0 with Crystal Palace. The reverse fixture last year with Villa was a defeat, 3-1 defeat. Call yourself Arsenal fans,
so we're getting 1 point.
No,
can we do better? Can we do better?
We're expecting to get at least
point out of it.
At least 4, right?
Yeah.
And you know what? If we were to go with our weaker squad against Crystal Palace, and we put our starters in who would have been rested for at least for over a week, we should win that game too. That's why at some point you're going to have to rely on that Pepe and a Lacazette to be able to get you through a match. this is a good one to do. They've been, Pepe's been scoring and Lacazette's been resting, so why not?
Yeah, yeah, good. Any final points, Tony? Anything I skipped over you about? Any gripes or complaints you have about the host tonight?
I'll leave that in the comment box afterwards.
Leave it in the comment box afterwards. Nice one. Uh,
Uh,
Tony, Patrick Vieira probably will get a great reception coming back, and it's only right that that should happen, right? But then when the whistle blows, as Gary said, it's going to be a battle to get those 3 points.
yeah, I
Yeah,
want to be. Sorry, go ahead, Tony.
yeah, the players need to be ready for it. I have a feeling they're not going to be up to it as much as they should be. Bears that have his lads fired up, and it's going to be a dangerous game. The way we struggle after our first games after international breaks. Seems like we hardly ever win. We got one last time.
Yeah, it's Gary. For me, it's going to be a. I always want to look at tests. In any game that presents some kind of tests. Okay, I wasn't making excuses for what happened in Brighton, but the conditions that were there for both sets of players, Arsenal were not able to overcome that. Okay,
Yeah, you brought it up for shits and giggles.
why are you shaking your head about what I just said?
Because you brought it up for shits and giggles. You didn't pick Arsenal as your upset pick. You had no
Gary,
confidence.
Gary.
So you came up with the weather as some bullshit excuse.
Why are you shaking your head, Gary?
It was like I don't want to bring up the weather as a problem, but it was a
I
problem.
didn't say that. I didn't say it was a
No,
problem.
essentially, it's what you said. I'm just trying to make
No,
it. Yes, essentially what you said.
no, I said it's conditions both teams had to overcome. Arsenal didn't do it.
It's fucking
Anyway,
England. The weather's
anyway.
shit. We know
Anyway,
that.
Gary,
Come on.
the challenge here is to.
Sunny fucking England.
Oh my God, the challenge here is to continue the good work that was started before the international break, and the challenge here is to pick up where we left off. Do you think the team is capable of doing that?
Pick up from where we left off.
10 points from 4 games.
Okay, so you're just looking at results. Yes,
Yes.
we need to pick up from that.
Add more points.
But we can play a lot better than we did in all four of those matches. There's room for improvement, a lot of room for improvement.
Yeah, I think City would say that. I think Chelsea would say that they could improve on their last game.
This shit's going on at Gary's house.
Predictions. We'll get predictions and get out of here. Tony, are we gonna win?
No.
You think Palace are gonna beat us, Tony?
Yep.
I think we'll win 2-1. 10 points is nice. 12 is great. Gary, do you think we'll win on Monday? Predictions?
Yes.
I'd likely take 1-0 wins, says BX Gunner. All right, listen. International break's over. We are back. The gears are starting to move again. I think
my gears are on fire.
The gears are moving. Yours are on fire. Everyone else, the gears are starting to move a little slowly here. So, thanks for watching, everyone, and we will catch you on Sunday.
Yeah, let's like to say before we go, congratulations to those that won. What is it? The FCA awards.
Yep.
So Mike at Gunapod won for his charity. So Arson Vision podcast won for being the best podcast, and actually saw Curtis Shaw won for being the best new content creator out there. So
Gary won a award for best journeyman,
and we came fourth in every category. So better luck next time, eh? Just kidding.
Gary won for best journeyman.
Best continental podcast.
Yeah, thanks for everybody for joining. So Don won and came in there a little towards the end. BX Gunner. Yeah. Don, who else?
Hit the like.
Good seeing you again.
Football is back.
Dan,
Don won.
Ray. Who else we got in here? I saw some other names. Taib was in.
Stan was there.
A lot of names, but only 9 likes. Bastards.
We're not
Like-
begging for likes, Tony. We're not that podcast.
Hit the like button on your way out.
Hit the
Steven.
like button on your way out.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you Sunday. Maybe we'll do a kind of watch along. Maybe we'll have one eye on Newcastle beating the
It's either a
Scum.
watch along or not, Ray.
It's a kind of watch along.
A kind of watch along.
Watch for that time frame. We'll see you out there. As Gary says, we'll see you out there, right?
Yep.
Take care, everyone. Thanks for watching.
Good night, Tony.